All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to tonight's dinner mukbang. I made a homemade taco soup, and I also have some tortilla chips that I'm going to eat that dip in with them. Hello, hello. How have we been? If you haven't watched this week's story time yet, then I highly recommend that you go watch it. But for tonight, we are going to. Oh, Dolly, we are going to have a little mukbang together. Gonna have a little mukbang with one another today. Anyways, I just got home from work. This is my last week at the hospital that I'm currently working at. I will be starting at the new hospital next Monday. So I'm super excited for that. I'm going to miss the people that I've worked with, but I'm super excited for the change. Aren't we, Dolly? So we're super excited. We're super excited. How long has it been since y'all seen Dolly? She's so big now. She's such a big owl, aren't you? A big owl. And her winter coat's coming in, which is so gray and white. I love it so much. Anyhow, tortilla chips, homemade taco soup. I have this recipe pinned to my timeline on Facebook. My Facebook is Morgan Shay. Go send me a friend request. I'll accept it. If you would like this recipe, it is so good. It turned out so good. I took a couple of bowls to some coworkers, and they were like, "Holy shit, that's so good, Morgan." I don't know if this is going to work on my little prop tonight. Mmm. Mmm. Dolly, don't you do it. Don't you do it. No, Mama. No. She just got a piece of bologna. No, don't. You're going to tip it over. Don't. Mmm. I think she's about to go back and heat. She's like a bottomless pit right now. Mmm. So good. Mmm. Mmm. And I'm so hungry that I'm actually kind of pissed. So I got these salads from Walmart. I get them all the time. They're like the pre-made salads. And I always get the Cobb salad for Chris, and I get the chef salad for myself. Well, Chris told me when he was on his way home from work today, and I was on my way to work, he called me and he said, "Hey, I'm just letting you know that my salad was bad today. Like the lettuce was wilted." I was like, "What the hell?" So I checked the date on my salad, and it said it was good till next week. So I asked him, I said, "What was the date on it?" He said, "Next week." I was like, "What the hell?" October 4th is when it said to eat it by. I'm like, "Well, what the hell?" So then I get to work tonight and I look at my salad, open it up, and it's welted. And I'm like, "What the hell?" And I bought 4 of each one, so I'm really hoping that they're not all spoiled, but because they're 2 different kinds of salads and they were both spoiled. So I had to eat hospital food. which our hospital food isn't that bad. It's like restaurants that set up in there, but it really just depends on which restaurant it is. And tonight, it was this one place, and some of their items aren't bad, but they make this like little nacho bowl. And oh my God, mm, I will refund you the money. I've done this several times due to bad produce. I've thought about it, but then also I thought, do I really want to? I don't know. We'll see. If more of the salads are bad, then I will. But anyways, this one place isn't bad, but they make these little like nacho bowls and their meat is so freaking greasy. By the time that it sets in the little to-go box for a couple of minutes, it's just mounds of grease. It literally almost made me puke tonight. Honestly, there's a dolly hair already. It literally almost made me gag. Like, it made me sick tonight. I had to stop eating it. Dolly, can you please stop, honey? Please. She's about to go in heat. She's like acting all weird and sus here lately. She's just walking in circles in the living room. I don't know what the hell she's doing. Anyways, um, I know she's itchy because her summer coat is shedding and her winter coat is coming in. And she's a German Shepherd Husky, so the husky hair in her is so thick. So I know she's itchy. But same problem we've had all summer. Can't get her into the groomers until next week. We've had the same issue all summer long. They basically haven't been to the groomers all summer. We've had to do it all ourselves because can't get them into the groomers. They've been booked all summer. I got a bruise on myself somehow. Actually, I know where that one came from. I know exactly where that one came from. That's from that damn labor and delivery bed that felt like it about took my arm off the other day. I seen the craziest shit I've ever seen in my life in labor and delivery tonight. So there are 4 labor and delivery ORs. And those ORs are obviously used for C-sections. So I hear them wheel a lady in through the double doors. And as soon as they wheel her in, I hear her scream, wait, 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 stop, 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 stop. And they were trying to roll her into the operating room next to the one I was in. And she says, "Stop, stop, 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 stop." Literally in the hallway. And they stop, and she starts to like stand up on the side of the bed. One of the nurses says, "Do I need to be over there with you?" She doesn't say a word. Like, this woman's face was like in the zone for real. She just stands up just a little bit, and that baby literally fell out. I have never seen nothing like that in my life, bitch. It sounded like a fish. Like if you were to drop a fish on a concrete floor, that's what it sounded like. And then you just heard a baby scream. They didn't even get her into, and she was going to have a C-section. Like if they will anybody back there, they're having a C-section. Yeah, that shit didn't fucking happen. She didn't even make it to the OR room. I've never seen no shit like that in my life. I know that I stood there. The person who was working with me, they were like, "Maureen, you literally stood there like this for 2 whole minutes." I literally like never seen no shit like that in my life, bitch. I was shook. Hey, Suzanne, never, never have I seen no shit like that in my life. And I wasn't trying to be rude, but like, oh my God, like that flat up just walked right out of that pussy for real. I was shook to the core. But all I do got to say is that mama saved a hell of a lot of money having that baby in the hallway. Because that's the thing. If you end up delivering, like before you get into triage or before you get put into a room or before you get to the OR, they can't charge you for using it. It can't be billed. So shout out to that mom for saving like $6,000 just on the room alone, not counting all the money she saved by not having to use any staples or nothing. That baby said, "Let me save my mom some coin." She's dying for some of this taco soup. But she just had a piece of bologna. But yeah, that shit was crazy. And then that's wild. Honestly, our healthcare system is so corrupt. It is for real. It seriously is. The other day, I honestly didn't know like how much they charged for cesareans. And then the other day, I was cleaning inside of like the offices up in labor and delivery, and I seen someone's bill. And so I was like changing the trash, but then also just kind of looking to see like what could they possibly charge. $6 per diaper. That's crazy. That's crazy. And then I watch all of these videos on YouTube of these people saying, "Don't bring nothing to the hospital. They give you everything you need." Yeah, they do, but they charge you for it. It had all the formula, diapers that they had used, charged them for the bonnet, the little hats that they put on them. They charged them $22. Those bonnets are made out of fucking baby blanket. That's crazy, bro. Charge you for the blanket, everything, plus everything that you use. If God ever blesses me enough to be able to have a baby, you better believe I'm bringing Dolly. That's my napkin, bro. Go lay down, Busisi. Go lay down. You're shedding so bad, your little hairs are on your nose. Go lay down, Busisi. Okay? She loves the soup. Oh my God. Um, but they charge for literally everything. I'm surprised they don't charge you for using air conditioner or heat in your room while you're there. For real. Like it's every pad, roll of toilet paper, everything. If I ever get blessed with a baby, I will bring everything that I need. Also, just a little tip from me to you. Don't you huff and puff. Don't you play that. Um, just a little tip. Look what she's done to my couch. Bitch. Um, if you bring your own diapers to the hospital, take a diaper with you to your delivery room, whether that be a C-section delivery room or whether that be whatever. Take a diaper with you, give it to one of the nurses and say, I would like my baby to be put in this diaper when they're born. They can't charge you for a delivery diaper. Use all of your own diapers, all of your own wipes, all of your own products because everything that they use. Now, that one thing I do know, if you're having a C-section, I don't think you can bring your own diaper. Well, no. That's a lie. You can't. You can't bring, if you're having a C-section, you can't bring your own blanket for baby to be wrapped in, and you can't bring your own bonnet. But if you are just in a regular delivery room and you're having your baby vaginally, you can bring your own bonnet, blankie, everything. So they can't charge you for it. I have health insurance with the casino I'm working. That is ridiculous. What the hell? No way they can do that. Yes, they can. And like I said, thank God I have insurance, but still, like even with insurance, you still have to pay a percentage of that. I will say that my brother and sister-in-law just had a baby a few months ago, and I think they ended up only having to pay like a little over $1,000 with their insurance. He has really good insurance though through his work, but like, dang, I just can't believe that they can charge for all that shit when they don't even give you an option. It's not even like they say, you have the option to bring your own diapers. You have the option to use your own formula. You have the option to use your own breast pump. There was even one bill that I seen laying on that desk that literally they charged almost $900 because the mom, I guess, used their breast pump. And I guarantee you they didn't tell that mom, like, hey, you're being charged for using this breast pump while you're here. How the fuck can they do that? Like, if you're gonna charge me $900 for this goddamn breast pump, I'm taking it home with me, bitch. I can go to Walmart and get a breast pump for fucking $100. You're not charging me 900 goddamn dollars for this shitty ass 1983 fucking breast pump that I've been using. Minus 350 for emergency visits, 200 for out of pocket surgery. It is different though for labor and delivery. And the only reason that I know that is because it's a different like cost bracket. But you can call your insurance and you can say, because your deductible will be the same. You'll still have the $200 deductible the day that you have surgery. But or the day that you go into labor, you'll still have like that surgery um deductible or copay, but they'll still bill for the surgery, but your insurance will pay a larger portion of that depending on how long you've paid into your insurance. Yeah. I don't see how they can do that though. I don't see how they can do that with the breast pump. That does not seem right. Like I could see, I still can't even understand. Even if you were taking the fucker home, I still can't get behind $900. Like, bitch, you could buy 9 breast pumps for that. Straight up. My baby girl. She gotten so big. She was the runt of her litter because my friend who whose dog had Dolly, um, she breeds huskies, but she also has a rescue farm where she basically, if she's the person that if you find a dog that has nowhere to go, you call Ashley and say, "Hey, we found this dog," and she'll go and get the dog and move it in on her farm. Well, she had this female German Shepherd, had no clue that she was pregnant, nothing. In the middle of winter, she finds out that her dog has been pregnant because her husband went out to go feed the dogs and seen that the German Shepherd had given birth to 12 Shepskis, German Shepherd Huskies. It's all right, baby. I just Papa. I just Papa walk around. Um, and Dolly was the runt, and she was so little, she had passed away. And so Brad, Ashley's husband, had to like rub her like this by the fireplace to bring her back to life. So she's been little her whole life. She's been so tiny, but she's gotten so much bigger. But compared to like her brother looks so much like Dolly's daddy. He's the husky. He's huge, and he is a pure blonde husky. So beautiful. That's where Dolly gets all of her white, her sock feet and stuff like that. But she's still small. I mean, on her papers that we have for her, she's considered a miniature, a miniature Shepsky, but she's still, I mean, this is her butt right here. So, I mean, she's not huge, but she's a lot bigger than she was when we first got her. Yes. That is a big thing about Huskies that a lot of people do not prefer. And I will say that when me and Chris were deciding whether or not to get Dolly, I was skeptical of that because, she's part husky. No. She's part husky, so I knew that she was gonna be really talkative, which she is, but she has so much German Shepherd in her, she just understands. I don't know how else to say that. I don't wanna sound like that dog owner who just thinks that their dog is just, so brilliant or anything, but, like, she's bred with 2 of the smartest breeds, German Shepherd and Huskies. She understands what you're saying. So if you tell her, "Dolly, stop it," she knows what that means. If you say, "Let's go OUTSID," if I say the word, she will jump up and go crazy. So I'm not going to say it, but she knows. If you say, "Dolly want bye bites," she knows. She knows what that means. Like Dolly go potty. She knows what that means. Like she's very smart. Very, very smart. So she understands, like when you say, be quiet, shh, she understands all of those things. Or bedtime, dolly time for bed. She knows what all those things mean. So she's very, very smart. If you say, Dolly watch, she'll watch. Dolly sit, Dolly lay. She knows all those things. So while they are talkative and they do love to talk to you, they're very smart, and when they are talking to you, they are trying to communicate something. So it's kind of like having a baby. Like, they'll try to communicate they're hungry or they want water or they want to go OUTSID. They're just trying to communicate something to you. So it's very funny, and it's not so much of a howl as it is like a "Woo, woo, woo, woo." That's how she talks, but I wouldn't trade her for anything. If you are someone who wants a dog, but you're afraid you might not have the patience to train a dog, a Shepsky is the best bet for you. They are so easy. They honestly learn on their own, like for real. I mean, seriously, I mean, when we first got her, it was the beginning of the pandemic. She's a pandemic baby. She pandemic baby. Yeah. She was born in December of 2019. So we got her in January of 2020. And or no, no, no. No, no, no. She was born in December of 2020. We got her in January of 2021. Because she'll be 2 this December. But um when I was working from home when we first got her. So, but I was working on the phones, so I couldn't like leave my place. So if she shit or pissed in the floor, I couldn't correct her. But we put potty pads down and she did really good with them. And she still does really good with them to this day. So I always say if you are looking for a dog and you're scared of, training them or you don't think that you'll have the patience or time, a Shepsky is the perfect dog for you to have. They are so easy to train. Um, her leash training isn't great, but that's our fault. Most of the time when we let her outside here, well, when I do, Chris doesn't, but when I let her out, I just let her out the door. She is super smart to commands and she knows when she's went somewhere she's not supposed to. She fully knows. Like, because when in times, I would say out of 10 times, she probably does it once or twice. That she'll go over to the neighbor's house across the street because they have yapping ass poodles. So she'll run over there and, bark back and forth with them at the fence. The people next door are building a house and they were over a couple weeks ago to like walk the property. And she wanted to just go over and play. And but she will come back, and when she does come back, she won't come near you. She'll, like, wanna play with you and, like, jump on you because she's like, "Ah, I was just kidding you. Just joshing with you." No, they do. I have one, and they know in even Spanish, she understands. Yes. Yes. They are very, very smart. I mean, there's a reason why the number 1 police dog is a Shepsky, a German Shepherd Husky. That is the main dog that police use. Underneath that is just a German Shepherd, but the ones that you see the most with their tails coming up, that is a Shepsky. So, Shepskys are by far, I would say, one of the smartest breeds, 100%. I mean, you're taking 2 of the smartest, easiest to train dogs and breeding them together. So, obviously, they're gonna be super smart and easy to train. So, I definitely recommend a Shepsky as either a first-time dog or, someone for that maybe is elderly and or young, and they're just now learning how to train dogs, or they just don't have the energy or time or etc. These are a really good uh, option, and they are very territorial. They know when someone is not, say, someone we know. For example, when we DoorDash, I always tell them to leave it at the door, and they never, ever, never read the comment or my delivery instructions. They never read it. So they always end up knocking on the door. And when they do that, Dolly goes absolutely ballistic. She does not fuck with anyone that she does not know. I mean, she will to an extent, but at first, like, she needs to know what the vibe is. Are me and Chris freaking out or are we good? Because if we're good, she'll be good. But if she sees us, like, "Who the fuck is that?" or whatever, mm-mm. No, no, they are very protective of the people that they know. She is very peaceful. She does now I will say this, I will be honest, that Shepskys do get the zoomies. So if you don't know what zoomies are, almost all dogs get zoomies, um, but it's basically just like a big burst of energy, and they can be, just a big burst of energy where maybe they might walk in circles for a couple minutes, or they can have Shepsky zoomies, as I like to call it. Shepsky zoomies is a whole other level. Husky zoomies in general are very different. There's actually a husky on TikTok that's almost all of their videos with that Shepsky has went viral because her zoomies. Husky zoomies are funny but intense. I mean, I'm talking about jumping a flight of stairs and only touching 2 steps the whole time, running around the room, tearing, just bashing into shit, running all over the place for like 20 minutes. Usually, when she gets the zoomies, which is about 2, 3 o'clock every day because she's on night shift time. So she is a Shepsky in that way that she has to wait until both her owners are home before she can go to sleep. That's why she's like this right now because both her owners are home. So now she feels comfortable enough to go to sleep. So about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, which is about an hour after I get up every day, she gets the zoomies. So what I typically do is at about 1:50 is I take the dogs outside and let her run, and she will get the zoomies as soon as I let her out the door, and she'll just have the zoomies outside. Because if I let her have the zoomies inside, we have situations like this right here. And this has happened. I mean, this entire couch is destroyed. That's why we have it down here because when she was little, she would only get the zoomies when we would leave. So she never, not once, got the zoomies unless me and Chris were gone. And we were so confused when she was little, we thought that it was anxiety. We thought that she had separation anxiety. So her veterinarian at the time, we no longer have that veterinarian now, but they put her on anxiety medication. And I let her take it for like 3 days, and I seen such an astronomical change in her behavior in a way that I wasn't okay with because Shepskis, German Shepherds, or Huskies, they are very personality filled dogs. They're almost like people, truly. I don't know if there's other breeds like that, but Shepskis for sure are like people. They have their own personalities. Uh, they just communicate with you in a different way than a lot of other dogs do. So, on the third day when she wasn't really like getting zoomies, she wasn't talking. She's a very talkative dog. When she wasn't talking, she wasn't wanting to play with George. She wasn't wanting to do anything. I told Chris, I said, I don't like the way this is making her. It's almost making her like if you're to give a teenager or a young child Ritalin. It reminded me of that. You know what I'm saying? So we took her off of it. We still have pretty much the whole prescription still to this day in our medicine cabinet. We don't use it. So we tried different things, and what works best for us is CBD. So I found these gummies on Amazon, and I can link them for you guys if anybody needs those for their dogs. Let me know, and I'll send you the link. But we use them for Dolly only. We've given them to George a couple times to help because they can also help with pain. And George has arthritis in his hip, but that's another thing. That's a whole other story. The doctor gave him some pain medicine for his hip, and he acted weird. So we treat both of our dogs with CBD oil. Hers is more for when we leave. She doesn't know how to control herself. So she'll, for example, dig at the carpet for 45 minutes or dig at the couch for an hour and dig it until it's all the way down to wood. So she does really well on doggy CBD gummies. The only thing I will say is there's going to be different CBD places that are going to say, oh no, these are good for dogs. Don't listen to them. Um, a friend of mine had someone tell her at a CBD place, and I've had somebody try this with me too. I just knew better, but a friend of mine, she had a uh, owner of a CBD shop say, "Oh no, you can use these on dogs. They're vegan or whatever." And she gave it to her dog, and her dog literally started bleeding out of its nose. So just be smart, don't let anyone tell you what to do with your dog. I would also check with a veterinarian, which my veterinarian said as long as it is for animals and animals only, they'll be fine, which she has done really, really good with them. It's calmed her down tremendously, and we only give it to her when she's here by herself. Now, and also I give her an amount depending on how long is she going to be by herself. I don't give her a whole one day to day because she's only home by herself for like an hour and a half before Chris gets here. So I'll give her like a quarter of one. But they're little gummies and she thinks they're a treat. So she eats them right up. But if we're going to be gone to like Dollywood all day or like this past Saturday, Chris went to a UT game and I had to work. So she was by herself for 9 hours. She gets a whole one, sometimes a whole one and a half of another one, just because it calms her, a lot. But that has what's worked with her the best. She still makes regular bowel movements on them. She still eats normally, drinks normally on them. So I feel a lot more comfortable giving her those than some type of anxiety medicine. Like, no, not my dogs. But see, my English bulldog, we had a similar situation, but only with pain medicine. So for those of you guys who don't know Georgie's story, Georgie was rescued after a hurricane in Louisiana, or Georgia, sorry, Georgia, a couple of years ago. And when my father in law first brought him back to Tennessee, there was one of his workers who really wanted him. He's a full bred English bulldog male who is not fixed and is white with black spots. It's a very rare shape and color of a bulldog because his shape is very proportioned. He's proportioned perfectly and he's very broad in the front. So his stature, color, and look, and he's a male and full blooded, is all very much like he's very much a $3,000 dog, if not more. So Chris's dad gave it to his worker employee. And after about 6 months, they ended up just dumping him off on these other people who were from another country. I'm just going to say it, Mexico. They were from Mexico. And they had him for about 3 weeks. And then they called my father-in-law and said, "Oh, we have to go to Mexico and we cannot take." I can't remember what they ended up naming him, but it was Spanish for bull, for a bull. I can't remember what it was. Anyways, um, so Chris's dad ended up calling us and saying, "Hey, would you care to watch um, the dog for a few weeks? The owner has to go to Mexico." Well, after about 4.5 weeks of them not coming back, I ended up calling my father-in-law and saying, "Listen, this dog ain't going nowhere else no more." Number one, he was rescued after a hurricane in Georgia where he had been living off the streets for God knows how long. When my father-in-law sent us pictures, he was skin and bone. If you see George now, he's living the life, honey. Um, he had just kept getting tossed around from home to home to home, and I was like, "No, Dolly needs a playmate." Her and him get along perfectly, anyways. So we're going to keep him. Also, in this time, I told Chris, I was like, "Does he not look like an old man named George? He just looks like his idea of a good time is playing, spades on a Saturday night while he chews his cigar, you know, like he just looks like a little old man and drinks his Bush Light and wears overalls. Like that's what he looks like to me." So plus he also looks a lot like George Bush in the face to me. I don't know why, but every time I look at George in the face, I see George Bush. So that's where his name came from. And so very soon after we started watching, we started calling him George. Because I was like, I just know these fuckers aren't coming back. Like, they're not going to no fucking Mexico. They're full of shit. They're not coming back. I'm not. This dog has been dumped off on so many people. So we ended up taking him. And not long after we took him in, I started to notice that he had a very severe limp when we would go to the park. Now, listen, English bulldogs are not the most active. They are very particular. They are very much homebodies. They love to be home. They love to just chill, right? Now he will play with Dolly, but he has to be in the mood. Um, he just it's just not his vibe. Plus, we also found out very quick that George suffers from PTSD. So he was abandoned during a hurricane when there was thunder and rain and all of these loud bangs, right? So anytime that there's any type of bang, whether it be a firework, whether a tree gets cut down, whether it is thunder or lightning, no matter what it is, George will shake profusely until it's over, which he's done it on a live before. One time I was on live and it started thundering outside and he ran right to my lap. He will put his chest on me like a baby, his head right here, and I have to rock him like a baby. Um, so very soon after we got him, we knew that he had PTSD. We took him to the vet. He has PTSD. Um, but also we had like a full body checkup on him right after we got him. And that's when we found out he had arthritis in his hip, which I already kind of knew that he had something going on because, like I said, he would limp and he has a really hard time jumping, which bulldogs do anyways. I mean, their legs are like this long. Like they really don't have any limbs to work with. So they're already at a disadvantage when it comes to that. But he was having a really hard time. Um, for example, he has a step stool to get up on the couch. He has a step stool to get up on the bed. He has a step stool that I keep in my car to help him get in my car, in and out of my car when we go, because every weekend we take them to the park for a few hours, and he needs that. And I have a very low SUV. It's a RAV4, if you know a Toyota RAV4. So they're pretty low to the ground. He can't jump in it at all or out. So at first, the veterinarian prescribed him the same type of medicine they had given Dolly for anxiety. And then they said just to give him a whole one when storms came. But they were prescribing this to Dolly. We were supposed to give Dolly a whole one every time we would leave, which was basically every day. Um, so that was the big reason why we didn't see, like, you know, a difference in George right away, because he wasn't taking them every day. He was only taking them when it was thundering outside, or if they were cutting down trees or weed eating or something like that. Mm, Um, so anyhow, they put him on pain medication for his hip. He was on the pain medication for about 2 weeks. I let him take it for a while because he seemed to be in a better place when I was giving it to him. Until one day I gave it to him and he threw up neon orange, and I panicked, took him to the vet, and my vet wasn't open. They didn't have an emergency like veterinarian. So I think it was like 11 o'clock at night. So I ended up taking him to a really bougie vet that is near my house. And um, they said that it's from the medication that he's been taking. So I pulled him off of it. And that's when I started searching for alternatives, and I found this CBD for anxiety and for pain. So they both take it that way. I highly recommend it. Like I said, check with your veterinarian, and make sure that it is for animals. It's not for, people. And don't let nobody who owns a vape shop or no bullshit try to tell you, oh no, you can use these for dogs. No. Yeah, they be robbing bulldogs in Vegas. One incident just last week, they stole a French bulldog right off the owner's right out of the owner's backyard. Yeah, listen, Georgie's breed, color, gender, and shape makes him a very highly desirable English bulldog. And because of his exact coloring, we had two different. One was a discipline, like dog discipline person, who's trained in dogs for like 30 something years. And the other one was our veterinarian. Even on Georgie's papers, he's considered exotic. So anytime an animal is full blooded and has like very desirable colors or look to them, they are considered exotic because it's so rare to come by that breed in that color and etc. So, I mean, we also had Georgie search for a chip at the vet when we first got him because I started to get a little bit uh, sad for the original owners, and he didn't have a chip. And then also, I called around all of the animal shelters where he was found to see if anyone had tried to find him. I did this when he was first found. Nobody had called in for him. I called like a month after that. Nobody had still called in for him. So we don't know how long um, he had been. I don't know. From what the officer who let my father-in-law like take him said, it looked as if they had kind of abandoned him, and somehow he had either escaped the house or he was in the house until it was like torn to shreds and then was able to like get out and walk. So Georgie was meant to be with us. That's the way I see it. And he's ours, period. I have papers on him. Um, and he will live with us throughout the rest of his days. So, anyways, you guys, I am going to hop off of here. I am starting to get super tired and start repeating myself. I hope you guys had a fantastic Tuesday. I hope you have an even better Wednesday. And until the very next time, bye.